So let me introduce myself again. I know we've kind of been chit-chatting, but I'm Nikki. I'm the counselor who works with all students from Holyoke High School at Springfield College. I'm also a double alum of Springfield myself, so I have a lot of love for Springfield. It has a special spot in my heart, so I'm super excited to share a little bit about our special campus with you all today. You probably know we're right down the road, only about 20 minutes away. Our location, if you haven't been to campus, is kind of right in the middle of the city, so it's kind of the best of both worlds. You have all the amenities of being within the city, but you don't feel like you're in a city when you're on our campus. We're right on Lake Massasoit, tons of green grass. You probably saw when you were on campus this summer a lot of beautiful historic buildings from when we were founded in 1885, but also a lot of new renovated spaces and new buildings on campus too. So it's really a beautiful campus community. We're a smaller school. We have about 2,200 undergrad students and 1,000 grad students, but our small population is a mighty one. We, on an annual basis, complete about 120,000 hours of community service. That's really a part of who we are at Springfield. We're, based in community service. Our students are really passionate about serving others, and all of our 40-plus majors are really service-based programs. Athletic training and, engineering sciences are perfect examples of that. So all of our majors really provide that route for students to be able to go into a career where they're going to be in a service-based industry. We are founded on what's called our Humanics Philosophy, which is our belief that to be your best self, you have to be really well-rounded in spirit, mind, and body. And you can interpret those however you want to, but you probably saw, did you see when you were on campus, there's like a lot of upside-down triangles everywhere? Yeah. Absolutely. There's tons of triangles everywhere in our publications across campus, and that's really a visual representation of that Humanics philosophy. All three sides of the triangle are equal, and if you're off balance, your triangle is going to be off balance and fall over. So we want our students to be really well balanced, really well rounded. So we are a pretty residential school. About 87% of our students live on campus all 4 years. But you all are going to be in a really cool situation where you can choose to commute to campus all 4 years, you can live on campus all 4 years, or you can switch it up each year. If you want to spend 2 years commuting, 2 years living on campus, that's totally fine. Even our commuter students don't come to campus just to take classes. They're super involved in our campus community, as are our residential students. We have over 60 different clubs and organizations for students to be a part of. Are either of you thinking about being varsity athletes? Maybe? What sport do you play? Volleyball? Awesome.
I think cheerleading is a club sport.
It is a club sport. Yeah. So we have 26 Division III varsity athletic teams. About a third of our students are varsity student athletes, but even if you're not a varsity student athlete, that's totally fine. It's really cool because it creates a lot of really great school spirit and energy. Our students turn up to support our student athletes, and we're continuously ranked in the top 5% of all D3 programs in the nation, so really competitive D3 programs too, which is really exciting. Just to kind of give an example of how strong our programs are, we actually have an Olympian who's a current student on campus. One of our juniors is from St. Lucia, and she spent her summer in Tokyo competing at the Olympics. She swam the 50-meter freestyle for St. Lucia, so really, really, really strong athletic programs. We also have 13 club sports, which is going to be that nice in-between. You still get the chance to compete, and they perform at the cheerleading club team performs at sporting events, but if you have to miss a practice or miss a game or an event, it's totally fine. And then there's 4 seasons worth of intramurals too. There's also something happening every single day of the week on campus, whether it's a musician, a movie screening, a hypnotist, a comedian. A couple days ago we had goat yoga on campus for students. So our commuter students are always on campus on the weekends and throughout the week for those types of events too, which is really, really fun. At Springfield, being a smaller school, we really value small class sizes. Our average class size is about 22 students. So you're really going to have that individualized attention and focus from your faculty members, probably pretty similar size classes to what you're used to here at Holyoke. We also really value experiential learning. All of our majors provide the opportunity for students to do internships, field work, practicum, service learning, some sort of hands-on experience. That way our students have experience on their resume when they go to apply to grad school or apply to jobs. And most of our programs, that's actually a requirement for graduation. A couple of our programs don't have it as a graduation requirement, but faculty in those programs will really encourage students to have that experience, which is really awesome. We have a really high success rate for our students at Springfield too. We're all about preparing students for that next step once they graduate from Springfield. We want to give you all the tools and support that you need to be successful. And I think we do a pretty good job at that. In the 2019-20 school year, for our students who graduated in May of 2020, we all know how difficult it was then. 95% of our students within 6 months were either enrolled in graduate programs or employed. So they still were able to find a lot of success even during such a challenging time, which is really exciting. Do you all have any questions about campus culture, our history, anything that we've talked about so far? No? Okay, awesome. So as I shared, we have over 40 different majors. Allied health sciences are really popular. We have a 5-year direct entry athletic training program for students. We also have for engineering, depending on what kind of engineering you're interested in, we do have a mathematics and a computer science program, which again can prepare students for graduate programs in engineering, though we don't have a specific undergraduate program at Springfield. We also have education, visual and performing arts, social sciences. There's something for everyone at Springfield, which is really cool. Our largest major amongst incoming first-year students is undeclared too. So even if you're not 100% certain what you want to study, that's totally fine. You can always come in as an undeclared major. Now, senior year, I know can feel a little bit stressful. My job is to hopefully take some of that stress off of your plate. And there's a couple ways that we do that through the admissions process. Springfield is a common application school. That means that when you apply to Springfield, hopefully most, if not all, of the other schools that you're applying to are on the common application. So you submit just one application for all of those schools or most of your schools. We also have no application fee. It's totally free to apply to Springfield, so no need to worry about paying a fee. And we're completely test optional for all of our programs too. So if you've taken your SAT or ACT, you're excited, confident, comfortable with your scores, you want us to see them, you're free to submit them to us. If you're not sure about your scores, you haven't had the chance to take them, it's not going to hurt your application to not have them included, okay? For most of our programs, to complete your application, we just need your official high school transcript. That's going to be sent from Holyoke High School, and at least one academic reference from either your counselor or teacher, somebody who can speak about who you are as a student. More than one is totally fine, so if you have a couple people that you'd like to ask, we will read everything. We review applications holistically, kind of tying back to that Humanics philosophy, that balance, right? We want to make sure that we're taking accepting not only academically strong students, but students who are going to positively contribute to our campus community. So your essay, your letters of recommendation, co-curricular involvement, those all play a huge role in the application review also. On average, for most of our programs, our average GPA is about a 3.0. Athletic training is a little bit more competitive. I would say closer to a 3.3 for that program. And we look specifically for a 4th year of math and a 4th year of science. That program also has some additional credentials that we look for in the application process. So those supplement questions that we talked about, and shadowing is not required, and neither is an additional letter of recommendation. So you're welcome to just submit the documents that you have from your application for that program, which is awesome. While I review your application for admission, I'm also going to look at your application for a merit-based scholarship at Springfield. Our merit-based scholarships are based on your GPA on a weighted 4.0 scale. So I'm going to look at your GPA on your transcript. If it's not on a weighted 4.0 scale, I convert it. I think you guys do report on a weighted 4.0 scale, right, though? Yeah, so I'm just going to take your GPA from your transcript. If you meet the qualifications for a merit scholarship, that scholarship is yours. No additional application, no limited number of scholarships for students. Every student receives an award, which is awesome. So for students that are accepted with below a 2.5 GPA, they receive $15,000 annually or $60,000 over 4 years. Students with a 2.5 to a 3.19 will receive $20,000 annually or $80,000 over their 4 years. A 3.2 to a 3.79 is $22,000 annually or $88,000 over 4 years. And a 3.8 and higher is $25,000 annually or $100,000 over 4 years. So every accepted student is coming in with at least $15,000 right off the bat, which is awesome. Springfield is a private institution, which means our tuition is the same for students whether they're coming from Massachusetts, Wyoming, or any other state, or really any country around the world. But we really do our best to be an affordable private institution for all students. 100% of our students receive some sort of financial aid, and our average financial aid award for the students who are first-year students right now is $31,300. Our total tuition, room, board, and fees for this current year is $53,000. So we cut that number in more than half on average for our students, which is really, really exciting. If you're looking to commute, you're going to save even more. It's about $40,000 for just tuition, minus the room and board, which is really great. So that's why, you might want to look and see what you want to do year to year at Springfield, depending on what your finances allow, which is really exciting. Now, another way that we work to help make the process a little bit less stressful is we operate on a rolling admissions basis. That means once your application becomes complete, it moves into review with me. I do my best to get a decision to you within about a week or two. Again, knowing some of the stress from senior year is actually waiting for your decision. If we can get that to you sooner rather than later, that's definitely our goal. The athletic training program, because it is a little bit more competitive, can take a couple more weeks, usually 3 to 4 weeks, to get a decision to students, but we still do our best to turn those decisions around as quickly as possible, okay?
So do you think it would be better to apply now, or should I wait, or should I do like early action or early decision, or wait?
Yeah, so we don't offer early action at Springfield. The other option we do offer is early decision, which is reserved for your top choice school. Early decision is a binding contract, which states if you're admitted to the program you've applied for and you receive a financial aid award that makes Springfield affordable, you're going to withdraw your application from other schools and submit your deposit to Springfield. If we're your top choice, that's a great option, right? Because it kind of finishes up your timeline a little bit faster for you. You'll deposit a little bit earlier. You're guaranteed your financial aid award by a certain date. But if you're not comfortable with that early decision, that's totally fine. You can apply rolling admissions. Even for early decision, you can apply now, even though our early decision 1 deadline isn't until December 1st, and early decision 2 isn't until January 15th. What's going to happen is once we receive, for the athletic training program, we do need your first quarter grades. So once we receive those, if everything else is already received, your application is going to move into review. And that's going to let us get you a decision earlier rather than having to wait a little bit longer depending on when you apply. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions? No? Awesome. So I do highly recommend coming to visit campus. I know you've been to campus and you might be coming back for the open house. If you can come to our open house on November 7th, I did give you both an invitation. That is a great day to visit. There is actually an athletics morning reception where you'll actually get to hear from current student athletes and meet with coaches if you're interested in being a varsity athlete. There's a faculty session where you get to meet with faculty and current students from your major. You'll meet hundreds of our current students, which who better to hear about what life is like at Springfield than those who are living it right now. And you'll also have a campus tour and information session. So really, really, really awesome day to come and visit if you're able to. If you're not able to come for an open house, I recommend coming for a tour and information session. We offer campus tours Monday through Saturday through the spring and the fall, and then Monday through Friday in the summer too. Okay? Any questions? Awesome. Well, I'm going to follow up with you both so that you have my contact information. Like I said, I'm the counselor that's going to be working with you through the admissions process. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions at all, okay? Awesome. Thank you both so much for taking some time out of your day to come down and chat with me. I appreciate it. Awesome. And hopefully we'll see you on campus soon.
Yeah.